Hey y'all, it's Nancy the Handy Scandy. Welcome back for another crafty venture. Hey y'all, welcome to Saturday Morning Makes. I have several things to share with you on this Sunday afternoon. Once again, life took over and I wasn't able to get done what I wanted to do on Saturday. Not going to go into all of it, but here we are now, right? So we remind ourselves that we can share or post any day of the week. It does not have to be on Saturday. So that is a standard we do not have to hold ourselves to. So with all that being said, I have these 4 projects to share. In terms of what Saturday Morning Makes is, it is an open art collaborative that was originated by the Jillian Norwood. It still is led by the Jillian Norwood. She is our illustrious leader and host, and she calls us her co-hosts, and anyone can play. Use the hashtag SatMornMakes when you upload or when you want to go see projects that were made. And if you want more information on it, you can hop over to Jill's channel, which I have linked in the description box. And she always gives a beautiful explanation on kind of her thought process and where she was at the time that she created it. So I'm going to scoot these out of the way. We'll talk about the products used. And I feel like I have a million. Maybe I don't, but I feel like I do. So I'm going to start with the stamps I used. So I use this guy. I can't remember where he's from. I feel like he's a whippersnapper, but he could also be from Judith. Stamps by Judith. I'm not sure. I think it's whippersnapper though. And then I use this Let It Snow by Impression Obsession. I am not sure who the artist was, but it's a very fun and sweet little stamp set, but I only use the word. And then I use this vintage script background stamp from Whimsy. You can see that this is well used and loved. Very much so. Now this one I used for the first time. Again, it is from Whimsy. And it is called, well, I guess I can turn it right side up, huh? Snow Flurry Background. And there's another stamp set that has some of these individual snowflakes. I can't remember what that one is called. But the snowflakes are absolutely beautiful. I love these little swirls because it shows possibly wind blowing or just the movement of the snowflakes falling and swirling as they come to the ground. But I just think it's very pretty. So I did use both of those. And then I used this Sweetie Pie that was gifted to me by Tina over at Crafty Bean. It says Purple Daisy Designs. I am not familiar with Purple Daisy Designs. But when I saw the purple, I was thinking this was an old Stampin' Up! From Celebration because they used to have purple. I don't know if they still have purple for their Celebration stamps. This guy is a super, super cutie, and I love the way he ended up coming out. This is a Stampin' Up! Set. I think it's called Seasonal Birdhouses. Yes. It is from 2000, and I use this guy. Now, I use all 3 of these. And I probably have been, I wanted to say for 25 years, but I don't think that's true. But I've been using them for a long time. I can't remember when I got them, but I have used all of them. I am ready for her. I'm so ready for spring. Yeah, I'm ready. But this guy came out really cute too, and I'm really pleased with that particular card. And then I have this stamp set. And it is called Thanks So Much, and I used him. In fact, when we get to the card that I made using him, I have questions for you guys that I would like some input on. So there is that. So I think those are all the stamps that I used. So let me move these aside. Okay, and then some dies. I used this scallop die from Pink Fresh Studio. They're just called the Simple Edgers, and they are very simple, right? A pinked edge and a scalloped edge, very cute. And I've had these for ages. Does not say the year, but again, it doesn't matter. I know I've had them for ages. Oh, there we go. Copyright 2019. And I may have had them since 2019. I'm not sure. But as I frequently do, I used my Wonky Stitch rectangle dies from Whimsy. I think I have used all 3. I may have used that one, but I think I used all 3 of these today. I also used this tag die from Impression Obsession. It is one of Anna White's. I use this and I use this. I did not use this part of it, this piece. And then I use this tag die set from All in Create. It is a 2-piece. So this is your tag, and then this is the layering tag, the layering die. So I guess they would go this way. So it has that fun, deckled, grungy edge. I really, really like it. And then it has a bunch of different dies in there too. There's like a label, there's word bubbles, there's the pieces that would cut out the hole there. And then this set is from Tim Holtz. I use this set a lot as well, and I used this one, which would be this guy right here. That's the only one I used. And then in this in this pack of dies, I used both of these. Now these actually come from, it's basically like a build your own journal die set from Studio Light, and it's art by Marlene. Now with this set, I used this. Now these are from Crafter's Companion, and they are so dang thick. The dies themselves are so thick, I can't even run them through my my tabletop, my mini little die cutting machine. But look at the difference in these dies. If I can get them apart. Can you see that difference? Look at how thick that is. And when I use it on my big shot, I actually have to flip one of the layers on the card base back before it will fit through the die cutting machine. They're incredibly thick. So I don't use them very often because of that, but they do make a beautiful die. I mean, a die cut piece. They really do. The hearts are beautiful. So I use that, and then I use both of those. And over here, I use this high die. And this, I think, came from Mama Elephant. It's actually this. No, it's this one. No, this was the Stamp Market. It's this frame, and then this little tag. So the darker grays. You can see the darker grays. So I used all of those. I think that's all of it. If I remember anything else as we go, I'll definitely pull it out, okay? So let me set those behind me as well. And then I use these eyelets slash grommets slash whatever you want to call them. I think a grommet is the larger one that you use on fabric, but I used those on one of them. I used this. I finally found it. It was lost in my stash. This Natural Polished Hemp number 20. This is the one that Miss Anna White recommends, and I do love it. I also used my tweezers a million times, but I used these 2 ribbons as well as these 3. Now this is more of like, it's almost like a twisted, it's not wool, but it has that look to it and that feel. It's just twisted fibers, and they're wound onto a spool like a ribbon. This one is a ribbon. It's a twill. It's really pretty. Very simple though. And then of course I used this little lacy, this cotton lace from Joann's. So I think those are all of the ribbons that I've used. So let me set those over here. Now I have these on my tweezers just because I didn't want them to unwind, and I could not find any pins or any bobbins or anything to wrap them around. So I also use these watercolor paints from Altenew. I'm trying to glue them down, but they don't necessarily stay. But they have a funky smell. Like I don't really like these. But I have to say the Brutus Monroe liquid pigments do too. They have that same funky smell. I also use this Amsterdam Titanium White. It's an acrylic ink. I use that. I use this Contour White from Stamperia and Vicky Papiano. I also used my Inkonic pens by Arteza. I used a couple of those. And then I also did some these are watercolor pencils, but I just use them as regular color pencils to add some detail to some of my stamped images. And for the most part, I colored with my Olos as well, but I'm not going to bring them out. So if you guys have any questions about how I use any of the mediums, please, by all means, let me know. And we can definitely talk about it. I have a few more things to share. I also used these little, they say Kiss Me Clay Hearts. They're by Honeybee. They're all basically the same size. I don't know if you're going to really see them red on red. They are, I don't know if they're acrylic. They feel like they're almost kind of a rubbery consistency. I'm not even sure. But I have taken my alcohol ink markers to them, and I was able to make them a little bit different color. So, but I have these out also because this is part of what I want to ask you later, if maybe I should use these again on another card. So on one of the cards, I use these. These are, this calls for confetti. They're Cotton Candy Fresh Sage. The cotton candy is the particular line. See how it is kind of a frosty? All the cotton candy ones have that kind of frosty look to them. And then this is fresh sage. So I used that one. I also use, oh no, maybe these are the ones I need your help with. So I have Sparkle All the Way, which is one of my favorites. And then I have these white glossy snowflakes. They're not different sizes. They're just a glossy snowflake. But they are very pretty. And then I have some acrylic hearts from Dress My Craft. They are clear acrylic. And then I have some white ones from Honeybee as well. So these are the clear acrylic. And they do come in different sizes? No, these are all the same size. Yeah, these are all the same size. The white ones come in different sizes. But these are from Dress My Craft. And I've had these for years, you guys. But I kind of like the idea of using a clear acrylic on my last card. But again, that's what I'm going to ask you guys. And I'm going to go with whatever you guys tell me. And then these white ones do come in different sizes. And they are from Honeybee. So again, they're acrylic. But there's the largest ones, the medium, and then the small. They're super, super cute. And I feel like either the white heart or the clear heart or the snowflake or confetti. I think those are the best options. So, but I'm going to start with this guy. Isn't he adorable? Now this is the stamp that I wasn't sure if it is from Whippersnapper or if it is from Judith. Stamps by Judith. But he fit perfectly on this die. Again, this is the tag die from Anna White. And you can see where I used the scalloped edge. And I adhered it to the back. And then I just cut teeny tiny little slivers of the glitter paper. And that cleaned it up. But I did use another striped green and white paper to be the back of this guy. And so I watercolored him with those Alta New watercolors. And then I did come in with some colored pencils just to create a little bit of depth in some places. You can see the yellow on the hat and some of the green on the shoes. But very, very cute. And then, of course, I used the Stamperia to make the little textured snowflakes. But I've also used some of that acrylic ink. Oh, and I also used my sheer shimmer spray. So I mixed this with that acrylic ink and then I splattered it. And so you can't really see a whole lot of the shimmer from the splatter, but I also sprayed it with the shimmer spray. And of course I took a snowflake out of my stash and a bulb pin and some of that white ribbon and called it done. I think it's super, super cute. Now this one is the second one that I made, and I actually used a very old gel plate print as my inspiration. And you can see I actually watercolored this guy it was not watercolor paper that it was stamped on either. So I was very concerned, like I was going to lose it, because it was not pretty at one point. I think altogether you don't look at the flaws, but had it been left on its own, like as a tag, just him, would not have been good. You can see that my reds don't all match, but I don't care. Like, that does not bother me. This is the heart that I cut with that die from Crafter's Companion, and it is beautiful. I mean, it has these beautiful raised edges. It's just a lovely shaped heart. Yeah, I really like it. The paper that I used, I should have gone over it with like a kind of an orangey or a brownie marker. I think that would have toned that red back a little bit and had it looking more like these. But I really love the way that the pencil helped to make things stand out. It really worked in the depths and the shadows. And then of course I used the tag die from All in Create, and I got this little heart from my stash, as well as this little charm. Now I don't know if you can see on that charm, but there's purple paint on him. When I was crafting, it was very dark in here and I thought it was red, but again, it doesn't bother me. If it does, I can take it off and add some red alcohol ink to it. Either I can get my little bottles of alcohol ink, or I can take an alcohol ink marker and just dab it on there, and that'll cover up that purple and add some of that red hue to it. So this is the Let It Snow from that Impression Obsession stamp set, and it's on the little tag die from Tim Holtz. And then again, these are those little guys from Honeybee, and you can see how dark they are now that I put some alcohol ink on them. And then that is all I did. I used these two ribbons, and then I used this twine, and then I used a little bit of the lace as well. And you can see where I did all the splatter. And I don't know if the camera is picking up the shimmer and the shine, but it has shimmery splats, and it also has shimmer spray all over it. So that is that one. Very, very cute. And then this was the next one that I made. And so this background was a bunch of scraps from a few weeks ago. These are all from Anna White. They're from a couple different pattern paper packs. And I just scrapped it up. I stripped it up, baby. And then I used one of the smaller Wonky Stitch rectangle dies so that I could make it kind of a focal point and not the full background image. And then I used the solid greens are from Stampin' Up. I don't know exactly the name of the color. I didn't look at that. I just found the green that I wanted. And of course I used my Olos to color him up to coordinate. Now this piece actually had this orange on it, and the orange splats were already on it. It was just a scrap in my bin, and I really thought that would be kind of cute just to have that little bit of an orangey highlight, orangey yellow, and nothing else. So that's exactly what I did. I stamped the snowman on there. I used these dies from Studio Light and Art by Marlene, and I just think it came out really cute. Now this is that kind of fibery twine. I don't even know what to call it. And of course some lace, and then the little high from Stamp Market, and this big beautiful snowflake from my stash, and it's on the silver bulb pen, and I think it's super, super pretty. I love this. And then on the inside I use this little scrap, and that little scrap on the back. I have not signed it. I probably won't put any other sentiment on the inside, but I think this guy is done. However, the only thing that I feel like he's missing is some kind of an embellishment. So before I talk about the other one, I want to ask you guys, do you like the idea of the white snowflakes? So there's a couple white snowflakes. Or do you like the idea of the acrylic hearts, putting a couple acrylic hearts on there? I don't want to leave those open because I will spill them for sure. Or we could add a little bit more color and kind of highlight the white on that tag. And we can use those white ones. Or we can use the sparkle all the way and really not add more color, but add some shine. So those are our 4 options. You guys tell me what you think. And I am just going to leave it right here so you can kind of visualize which one you think might be the better option. And I'll probably put a couple up here and a couple down here. That's my guess. But there we go. There's those options. So I'm going to set those back up there. And keep in mind that these are the 2 that I've used on the others. This one you'll see in just a second. I'm about to do that. But these are on both of those. So there's that. Now this one is the Seasonal Birdhouses stamp. Now I did not pull out this stamp that was in the back. That is from, I think it's Tailored Expressions. And I've had that in my stash for a number of years. And I actually did green and brown ink on the stamp, and then I spritz it with water so it gives kind of a loosey-goosey water effect or watercolor effect, but I've covered most of that up. So I had to double stamp this guy because I used oxides to do that little bit of ink blending around him, and that covered up the ink. So I got the bottom lined up just right, and after about 15 attempts, that was as close as I could line the top up. I'm just not good at that. And I had a piece of acrylic in between so I could see. But yeah, again, I'm not mad about it. I wish it were better. But with all the work that I put into this card, I was not about to let that end it. But I got more black on there. Now it stands out more from that oxide inks, and I think it's just fine. So I did go around the card with this again with my Stamperia Contour White and made some bigger and some smaller little snowflake dots. And then of course I just use greens and browns to coordinate with this already stamped background. And then I brought in the blue because I felt like it coordinated really well with the blue and the gray that I used for the sky. Now, it's not the same blue. This is much more of a tealy blue, and this is much more of, actually, I think it was Speckled Egg, if I'm not mistaken. Lost Shadow and, yeah, Speckled Egg. So these are the 2 inks that I used to ink blend that sky. But then I came in with some darker ink around the edges. I believe I used Doe ink from Pink Fresh Studio, and I did the ink blending around the edges here and just barely around the edges on this guy because I wanted that brown to be on there too, because the blue was trying to be a distraction. Typically I work in or with the rule of 3. And this time I did not in terms of the blue. I just have the blue as the sky and the blue right here. And I didn't bring in blue anywhere else. And I'm okay with that. There's plenty of the green. There's plenty of the brown. Those were my main colors. And I think it's fine. Now this polka dot paper is from a big, it's kind of a Valentine's Day 12 by 12 pack. And I can't find it. I had several sheets that I cut down into 6 by 6 and I can't find them. This was the only one little 6 by 6 sheet that I could find. But anyway, I did pull the confetti from this green, not so much from the darker green, but from the green of this. And I think that they coordinate really well. They're not identical, they're not matching, but they're coordinating. So, and then of course I did a couple little eyelets and I used some more of that hemp twine, and this was one of the very bright gold snowflake charms in my stash, but I went over it with some brown and some black acrylic paint, and once it dried it is permanent and it gives it that antique-y look. So I also added some of the lace right here and some of the lace on the background. Now to build a bridge between this green and white polka dot and this kind of tealy blue, I used just a strip of white paper. That's the bridge. That's what marries them together. And then for texture and interest, I added the cream colored lace. And so I have both cream and white on this card, and they both make sense because they're in multiple places. So I think it's very, very cute. You can see I colored up the snow or the little birdhouses with the same tones of green and the same tones tones of brown, but each one is colored and looks very different. So I really had a good time making this card. And then on the inside, again, I used that scallop die on the polka dot paper and made a trim on for the inside and the back. And then I layered them on that darker green from Stampin' Up. And those, my friends, are my cards for today. So Stampin' Up and Stampin' Up, and what was this? Purple something designs. And then I really think this is Whippersnapper. I think that's an Anna White. Anna, if you're watching, my dear, is this one of yours? Obviously, I can go back and do an internet search and see where I got it, but I think that's from Whippersnapper, and I think it's one of yours. But anyway, guys, you let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know which of these embellishments you would like to see on this card. Or if you think none, then tell me none. Or if you think something completely different, tell me that too. I care about what you think. And I'm not sure what direction I'm going to go in, but there's the white snowflakes. This is a Sparkle All the Way. It just brings that beautiful sparkle and shine. And then there's the white acrylic hearts that are different sizes and the clear acrylic hearts that are all one size. Any of them would work. Also, I don't have to use any of them if I don't want to. So there we have it. Those are my 4 cards today. I will be back soon with some happy mail for this week, and I also have a little bit of a haul. It's not large, but I'm very appreciative for those of you that I'm appreciative for all of you, but especially when someone takes the time to mail something to me. I hate mailing things, so I understand the effort that goes into that and everything that it takes to getting something in the mail and sent to somebody else. That effort is not lost on me. So I thank you guys. Thank you for spending some time with me. I am going to hop around and see what everybody else has made on this beautiful Sunday afternoon for Saturday morning makes, and I'll go see what I can find. But in the meantime, oh, you know what I'm forgetting? Hashtag for the love of snowmen, because you'll see they're all snowmen. Now we are almost halfway through this month. It is Sunday, February 9th, so we have a couple weeks left. But let me know what you're thinking about this particular hashtag. I don't have anything else planned for later in the year or even in March. So if anybody else wanted to pick up, you know, a mantle and run with that for next month, or maybe we could revisit some that Miss Anna did a couple years ago and see if we want to pick up any of those or come up with something completely different or nothing at all. The options are endless, friends. So I'm going to let you guys go. Again, I thank you for stopping by. I thank you for spending this time with me. And until next time, this is Nancy, the Handy Scandy, for hashtag Satmorn Makes and hashtag for the love of snowmen. And I'll see you next time.